if you're watching on the phone, but if you're on YouTube, you could probably see my hands. So it's just like a wider angle. You can see more of the stuff on the table. But the app, in my opinion, is the best way to go, especially if you want to buy something and you see it. A lot of our things go quick. So if you have the app, you can type in, you could just, buy from the app. If you're watching from Facebook, you can actually type in sold, followed by whatever item number that we're showing. I believe that we have in the bubble Embroidery Elegance, which is this box right here. And so with Embroidery Elegance, you're going to get this fun box. You're going to get instructions that I had to package separately because they were too big for the box. And I didn't think that my instructions were going to be this big, but you'll get an instruction booklet step by step. It will tell you how to do each block. Even the coasters, you'll get a small snippet of how to do the coasters. And there's 3 different versions of how to do these flowers. So you get 5 flowers total, which you see across the top here. And you'll get 3 different versions of how you're going to sew them out. So you might get, so here we have the coaster, which is version number 3. And what we're going to be doing is the hexagon, which is split in half in version number 2. And it's 2 hoopings. And then you piece them together, or you join them. These are 2 different flowers. That's why it looks different. But that might even work. So, and then you get the version number 1, which is just your basic block, all-in-one hooping, just your basic applique, and you'll get the applique only without the guides around for the block size. So you can put that applique on anything. You can put it on a jacket. You can put it on whatever other project you're working on. Just some fun flowers to work with. But we're going to go ahead and get started. I have Joni here.
Yeah, I'm going to help.
She's going to help. And
He's going to tell me what to do, and I'll help.
Yeah,
okay.
I need her help.
Okay.
Susan, I haven't shown next month's project box, so we did put a delay on it just because we were running behind on things. I took a vacation, and
yeah,
it was worth it. It was worth it. I had such a good time. My family had such a good time. But the next one is going to be a door hanging. And
it's
going to light up your world.
That's right. Yeah, that's a perfect way to describe it.
Oh, I could tell them what it's going to be called. Magic in the Air. And yeah, I'm very excited about it, and we're ordering the things ahead so we can get them to you on time. I know there's a certain customer who even does a class of my projects, which I'm very grateful for. And she teaches a class with 6 people using my projects. So
that's great.
She had to. I let her know, and she had to adjust, and she's doing an IQ designer project where she works. And yeah, let's get started.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to go hop to page number 15, I believe, in our instruction book. So page number 15 is just a quick overview of the first beginning steps of doing these version 2 hexagon embroidery designs. So first you will hoop your no-show stabilizer. And that's what we found the best that works with this. I mean, you could use tearaway, but the problem with tearaway, if you're using the tearaway, you're gonna, your batting right here isn't gonna be tacked down. It's gonna be like kind of loose. So the no-show we saw works best with this, and it's just gonna be a placement stitch of the total outline. We're gonna lay our batting over, tack down our batting, trim. And then we are going to lay our background fabric over.
Okay, you want me to get started with that?
Yeah, let's get started with it. So Joni has her hoop, or 10.5, or no, not 10.5.
So this is 11 by 18.
11 5/8 by 18 1/4.
Okay.
So that's the largest size you could do with these. And they're also available in the 8 by 12 hoop as well.
Okay.
So she's just going to insert her hoop. Now in the box, I guess while you're putting that in the box, we have you want to wear this, Joni?
But yeah, sure, I'll wear it.
You want to wear this?
Oh, this
is the special notion, and that's what I'm struggling with right now to find for the next box is this special notion. You know, with I was going to China primarily, and I can't raise the prices of the boxes. I don't want to.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find out what our next special notion is going to be. So you get the scissor holster for this one. In the past one, you actually got a big cosmetic bag.
It was nice.
You get the spool of thread.
So it was all coordinated.
And here's the flash drive, the fun flash drive.
Right.
So a lot of people get confused. They go, "Where's my flash drive?" It's
Okay.
like, this is the flash drive.
Right.
You got to
Pull
pull
the
it
flower
apart.
off.
Yeah, warn you, when you're putting this back on, you might not want to put it on all the way because it can kind of be difficult to pull off because it's so like suction tight. But let's go ahead. Let's plug the flash drive in.
Okay.
And
Here we're going to go back to.
she has one plugged in already. We're going to go to the screen on the machine here.
Okay.
And we're going to go look up flower number 5. So we're going to go to embroidery. We're going to go to the pocket. And we are going to go to the flash drive. Press on Gam's Garden folder. Gam's Garden embroidery designs. And then select your format. So we have all the different formats here. DST, XP, JEF, and then the one we want to use, PES. And then you'll see that there's a bonus design. There is the version 1 and version 2 and then version 3. So in version 2, when we click on that, we'll see the 5 different flowers. And then you can view in your instructions, say, if you want to know what these flowers are going to look like, you can preview in the instructions. We're going to click on folder flower 5, and then we're going to select our largest hoop. You can see all the available hoop sizes there. And then these shouldn't be in there. So if you got a flash drive with those in there, I apologize. Flower number 2 shouldn't be in there. And they should be in the flower 2 folder. It just must have been something when we were copying the flash drives. It must have got transferred over somehow.
Okay.
So flower number 5, we select that. We're going to click set. And then you don't have to move it around. I would suggest keeping it in the center position. And we'll click embroidery and we're good to start.
Okay.
And
I'm looking for our blue thread.
here's our blue.
Okay, there we go.
So you all received different thread. You could have got the blue thread. You could have got the yellow thread. And you know what? It's just, I would just take your fabric and find the threads that you have. And if you don't have the threads, right? I would just try to coordinate your own threads. We do have the exquisite thread available. We don't have a thread set for this one yet, but try to coordinate. I mean, you can picking any blue really works.
Yeah, it does.
You know, like there's different blues that work.
There's all.
It looks like
kinds of
you chose
shades
a
of
large,
blue.
a darker shade of blue on this
that
one.
And then.
And look, you could see it as the lighter shade as well. So you can see what it looks like as the darker, and it gives off a different feel.
Yeah, it does.
Just that little thread color change right there can really change how the end result of your project's going to be. So she's just stitching out a placement stitch right now.
For our batting.
For our batting. And we have the batting.
Yes.
And we're just going to place it over top and tack it down.
Can I move this chair out of the way? Do we need that chair?
Yeah, I don't think we need that. Yeah.
So if you're, you could wear, I saw someone ask, how do you wear it? So you could hook it around your waistband. You could,
Yeah, that's true. I could
we
try
sell
it.
aprons where they have like little belt loops.
In pockets in them. Yeah, so you could go like this. It's a tight.
It's very tight.
Yeah.
So you could use
loosen
these
it
for gardening as well.
Yeah, you could like hook it onto your pants. Let's see if there it goes. There.
And then you could just have your scissors ready to go.
Ready. Okay, that's perfect. That's something we need.
Or you put your little garden snips in there, and you could take it gardening. That was the whole idea behind it.
Okay.
So she is just placing her batting. What are you using? Are you using?
This is the fusible fleece.
Fusible fleece. So she's putting the fusible side up. And you could even go with 2 layers of this if you wanted to and make the flower look a little puffier.
Yeah.
So you could do 2 layers, but we're just going to go with 1 today.
Okay.
And we're going to tack it down.
Okay, so we'll just press. There we go.
Kate might need to get a shot, Joni. Kate might need.
Okay,
Yeah.
here. Oh, here. I'll get out of your way.
Just watch this camera too.
Yeah, that was that one. Okay.
So yeah, you just want to make sure that it's nice and smooth whenever it's stacking down. Make sure there's no big bubbles in it. And yeah, it'd take a second to, it's going to go around 2 times.
Yeah, okay. And then I'll get my snips ready. Here they are.
Jennifer, I've not shown the next one yet. I was just telling everyone briefly that we had to delay, and I'm making sure everything's good with the next project. And we talked about it a little. It's going to be a door hanger, and it's going to be pretty long. I think around 40 inches long,
Really?
11 inches wide for the largest size. And you know what? You might be able to do it in the 8x12 hoop. I think that's going to be what it's, just set at. I don't know if you're going to get multiple sizes for this one, just because, the longest one might even touch the floor, and
That's
that
right. Yeah,
won't be any
you
good.
wouldn't want it that long. You wouldn't
Yeah.
want to.
So, but
Oh, there's Carol. She's in Florida.
don't knock the camera over. Yeah,
Right.
Carol knocked the camera over.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
we had to take some money out of her pay.
Oh, boy. So she's in Florida, I think.
She's at Disney, right?
Okay.
Visiting her son who works
Yeah.
at Disney.
He works at Disney now.
I want to work at Disney.
Yeah, I'd like that too. I just like to. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to trim the batting away.
And I saw someone mention the coasters. I'll go over how you can do those all in the hoop, and also the fill designs. So not only are you going to get the coasters, you're just going to get the fill stitch of these flowers, so you can put them wherever you'd like. You can put it on a ball cap. I think left chest of a shirt or something, just to, you could use them however you want. And you'll get all 5 different flowers. I didn't list the thread colors on this one. Just because, I think when we list the thread colors, that kind of, I don't know, you feel like you can't use any threads but those ones. But I just list where the thread changes are and where you should change thread colors. If you like, you could use all the same color if you'd like. And I think that's what we're going to do. We have the option to change thread colors in this one, but we're just going to stick to the same color.
And then we'll change it for the sun. I mean, not the sun.
The center,
It
yeah.
looks
So
like the sun.
we have the finished version right here.
There it
We have
goes.
1/2 done already. So these are done in 2 separate hoopings, and we use the same blue thread all the way around.
Okay, so I'm going to slide this back in. And the next step is to put the background on.
Yep. Now the background. So when doing this, I think even for better results, I would even put
Yeah, we didn't do the. I didn't put the
An
shape
interfacing
flex,
on, yeah.
But it probably would turn out nicer.
it'd be probably a lot cleaner. You wouldn't have to worry about any puckering or anything. You don't really have to worry about puckering too much with this one.
No.
And I left quilting out just to show off really the fabrics. And this is a good way to show off, a nice fabric collection. I think sometimes quilting, if done too much, it can take away from
The fabric, yeah,
the
let the
fabric, the
fabric
art on
be
the
the-
fabric. But Joni's going to go ahead and lay this over top.
Okay. Just making sure I cover up all my edges.
Uh-oh.
Okay, and then we'll start it.
Oh yeah, you gotta watch out for that camera, Joni.
Oh yeah, I don't want to knock it over. There we go. I don't want to get in the way of the camera.
And so we're just gonna make sure this is nice and smooth. I really like this one, that it has like the hexagons in there.
Yeah,
it has the
that's-
honeycomb, the hexagons.
I like this fabric too. It's a beautiful
It's weird
shade
that
of blue.
we just had this on the shelf. Originally, we were going to use a different fabric, and this one was just sitting. We didn't have the fabric, It wasn't coming yet, so we were just like, let's find something else in store. And this was right on the shelf, and I thought this was the perfect background.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah. We're so lucky to have all this fabric in our shop. I'm so lucky. We're lucky we could just pick whatever to be creative with.
Yeah, years ago, we didn't have that. We didn't have fabric. We just sold sewing machines, so we would always have to go elsewhere to get fabric for our projects. But it's nice to have it right here.
Yeah. Okay. So this you won't have to trim. You can leave it in.
Okay. Yeah. Now we're just going to hit
The next step is for the flower petals, and let's see what step we're on in the book.
So there should be 4.
Is it step number 4 we're on? So if I go all the way to flower 5, it looks like we are on machine step number 4. And that's where we begin, because those first 3 steps I mentioned on the previous page. So we're starting off with the placement stitch.
Okay, and we're using the same color thread. These are 4 petals.
Yep.
And then I have the, let's see, right here.
And we did pre-cut the fabric. I do give cutting instructions on your flash drive. There's some mistakes, so bear with me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
There were a few mistakes. And it probably should have just went around once. But that's okay. Going around twice is fine. Yeah, it's going to do all of these, and it's going to give you the placement. But we did cut out the different fabrics prior to doing this. I saw on flower 3, it looked like there was a spot missing for flower 3 on my instructions. So these are actually on the flash drive. I would personally, how would you do this? I would wait until it stitches out.
Yeah.
The placement stitch, and I would cut as you go.
Yeah.
I know that may slow some things down, but I would just cut as you go.
Would you put a large piece of fabric and then?
No, if I'm
like this.
But I'm trying to conserve.
Yeah.
You know, so because we give you the limited amount of fabric. So what I would do is I would just take your ruler, I would measure those placement stitches, and then I'd judge how big to cut my fabric.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. Is these will just cover, and you'll notice there's 2 smaller ones for the center petals, and then larger ones for the other petals.
And the cutting instructions are only for the radiance, so for the largest hoop size. Looks like it's got one more to do, and then we'll tack down our fabric and trim away, and then move on to our next applique piece.
Whoops. Something slid.
Yeah. There's no SVG files for this one. We primarily sell the scan and cut. And I know Scan and Cut reads SVGs, but Scan and Cut also reads the embroidery designs. And, you know, we could do the FCM files, and I think that we'd be more likely to give the FCM for our Scan and Cut users, just because we sell those Scan and Cuts, and it would be easiest for us. I've tried the SVG files, and I ran into some problems. I was using Embroidery software, and the SVG file ended up like really messing up the fabric from the one project.
Okay.
But she laid out all her pieces of fabric here, and she's going to tack them down.
Okay. I'll just keep an eye on it that
Yeah.
they don't slip. And I believe it goes from here to there. So
I'm going to go use
okay. So I put the hot fix on them, and I peeled the paper away. Okay, so this goes. Okay, now let's make sure that it's way over here. So I'm just gonna maybe push it over a little bit. So it didn't go over here yet. Yeah. Okay, now down here. Oops. There we go. So if you need to reposition, just hit your green light and you can move it. Okay, let's just make sure that one, oops. Okay, you can see a little edge peeking out over here. There we go.
Do you think even using embroidery tape to make sure your pieces are
You could do that,
yeah.
maybe just a tiny piece to
Just
hold
takes time.
it. Yeah.
We're more about saving time here.
Yeah. There we go.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Right, Vivian, backing fabric is not included in this kit. We are going to be selling the backing fabric after we're done demonstrating how to do this part of the project.
Okay, so slide this out and we'll trim.
I'll trim. I'll be the trimmer.
Okay.
And you want a chair? We'll put you in a chair, and I'll just like hand it off to you. And
What do you want? This one, Johnny?
Am I in the way? Maybe I.
There's a
if
smaller
you
one.
prefer to
Yeah.
stand,
Okay, I prefer to stand. I'll stand. Yeah. Okay.
so I guess the part that matters the most for trimming these is just around the tops of these petals here, where the raw edge will be showing. But you do want to trim fairly close to this.
Yeah. The next step is just around the rounded edges. Let's see.
Yeah,
It's going to do the satin stitch around the
right.
rounded edges, but we still need to trim.
I noticed putting the hot fix on. So we put hot fix on all of our applique pieces.
We might as well. We'll press it when you're done
Yeah.
trimming.
How much backing fabric do you need?
So I think it's in the instructions.
Okay, let's see.
So ideally, like you would want to piece together your table runner first. Say you want to do all 5 flowers as your table runner and make a really long one. It's just depending on
Oh, here. So this
how
is,
large that So
yeah, there's the
and even
finished.
on like page 30,
Okay.
let's see. You can start heading towards the back there whenever I talk about the assembly.
Okay.
So
this
right
is,
here on page number 30.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It says place right side of the hectagon against the right side of the backing fabric, pin together.
Right here.
Okay, right here. Recommended backing fabric size cut to 49 by 22 inches.
Yeah, so you'll need about, 2 yards? Pretty close, or a yard and a half, a little over a yard and a half if you're doing the largest size.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now, it just depends on how many flowers you're putting together on this table runner. But just lay it flat in here. Let me show this really quick. So lay it flat, and you can see this yellow block resembles the backing fabric, and how much larger you want to cut your backing fabric compared to your piece together, front there. I think I like the duckbill applique scissors.
Yeah, I do
kinda,
too. Those are nice, little mini ones.
I've the mini applique scissors by
Those
Gypsy
are
or
nice.
Famore. They're really nice. I think I'm switching my
Oh,
preference.
really? You like that better?
Yeah, I might like this better.
Yeah, it has the little duckbill that holds the, and the length of the blade is nice. Some of them are.
Yeah, because you know what? I accidentally like trim my threads a lot whenever I'm doing applique with those easy snips.
Okay.
And I feel like this one's just easier for, I don't know. It's personal preference, right?
Okay, and then let's see the iron. Make sure it's still heating up.
I think I did it.
Okay.
Okay, so she's going to take it over to the iron. We have hot fix on the back, featherweight hot fix, and she's just going to press it a little bit.
Okay.
Fuse those fabrics together.
Someone is asking, what is hot fix?
Okay. That is, we've started to use this. We've probably been using it about 2 years, and I think Ruth Ann is the one that suggested it. But it's used for appliques, and it looks like, let's see.
It's used to fuse two fabrics together.
Yeah.
So you fuse it to your applique fabric, and then you'll place it on whatever you want that applique fabric to go on, and it'll fuse it together.
Yeah, so this piece this fabric has hot fix on it, and it has a paper side, and then what we'll do is tear off the paper. Let's see, like here. You iron it on with and then you tear that off, and it has this an adhesive coating on it, and when you iron it on, it will melt the coating and then sticks, and it holds all your edges down, and you won't have any little frayed edges peeking out of your appliques.
Oh, I see a little piece I didn't trim.
Okay.
Let me just trim this really quick.
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
You're
And
good.
then we're just gonna. And so it's pressing the applique piece down, and then all your edges will be pressed down also. And it makes a big difference.
And you do have to hold the iron there quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
That's a mistake. I'm always so impatient, and I just want to get it done with, and I don't fully fuse it to my applique fabric.
Mm-hmm.
It will come up like cloudy, and you'll be able to see it, or it won't peel at all, and then you'll just go back and press it again. Okay.
Okay, now we're going to slide it back in, and the next step it will satin stitch the.
Do we need to cut these?
Yes. So we'll cut those. Those will be for the next.
And I think
they were supposed to be 4.5. Let's see.
you have 4.5 by 5.5 for the next piece.
Okay.
Oh,
There we go. Okay, so this is 5.5. So we're gonna go.
so it's just gonna do satin stitch around the edge of the outer edge of these petals here. The inside here is gonna be covered up by another petal.
Okay, so this one is,
Let's see.
and then there are gonna be. So this is.
I think you only need 3, right?
Yeah, okay, there's 3. Okay, there we go. And we already took the paper off. Okay.
This is the fun part where you just watch it.
You just
stitch.
watch it, and it's going to sew for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So a minute on each little petal. Let's see. Oh, good. Oops.
Oh,
okay,
bobbin.
Okay, so what we'll do is touch this right here. Okay, we're gonna first of all
I'll find a
cut.
bobbin.
Yeah.
Make sure you put a fresh bobbin in. That's
We
what we didn't do.
Yeah.
But we're real here.
Yeah. Okay.
We're not perfect.
Okay, so we're gonna slide this off. So I cut the thread and we'll slide this off. But don't worry. Okay.
Do you have bobbin over there?
Let's see. Okay, look how. All right.
I'm not finding any. I'm on the hunt. I gotta go on the
So it's
hunt.
gonna go. I'll look in this drawer, and sometimes there's some in a little tin. Here, maybe this is one. Yeah, no, that's regular thread. Okay, good. I found one, but it was regular thread. Okay.
Fresh bobbin each time.
Yeah.
It's not that many stitches though, you know? So how many stitches for this one? Only about 15,000 stitches.
Okay, and then we'll slide this back in.
So 30,000 to complete this whole flower in the largest size.
Okay. Okay, and we're gonna return.
Do you like to go back a few
Yeah, I do.
stitches? Like
yeah, so
10,
I
20?
always I go into where the needle
30.
is, the plus and minus sign, and you can turn on your light too, so you can see where you are, and then I'll go. I usually go minus 10. I usually go 20.
Yeah, play it
minus 10.
safe.
Yeah, play it safe. Okay, and then we'll just hit the green light, and it will stitch over the previous stitch. You don't want a raw, a stitch, a raw edge of a raw thread coming through.
I don't know. Someone was asking about this patriotic pillow in the back. I don't think we have a kit for that, do we?
That
No.
was an older
It's an older.
project.
I don't think
a couple summers ago we did that one.
they may not print that fabric anymore. Speaking of patriotic, though, the
Yes, what's-
July box.
Oh, so you're
I'm
already
excited. I like the patriotic. That's the first project I did was patriotic. Was the United We Stand
Yes, yeah.
wall hanging,
Uh-huh.
and I like patriotic
Yeah.
stuff. So. This looks like the last part, and then we'll do our placement stitches, and then the tack down, satin stitch. Only 3 applique steps in here. Total of 1, 2, 3, 8
Big
applique pieces.
Yeah, 1, 2, yeah, there was 7, and then the center. Looks like it's on this last one now.
So, the button you touched on the bobbin, for the bobbin.
Yes.
So that was just an indication on the machine to remove the hoop, right? Is that what she's
Yes.
talking about?
Yes.
And then the needle plus minus on the screen. Let's go over to the screen, Kate.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's going to give me the knock sound because it's still
It's still working.
working.
Okay, right here is the needle with the plus and minus sign. So you can go forwards or backward in stitches. And you can also go forwards and backward in color if you need to. So there's the color is up here. and then the stitches is right here. So you can go 1, 10, 100, 1,000. So I usually, when I change a bobbin, I'll do 20 stitches. So I'll hit -10 twice.
Yeah.
And then just say okay, and it will pop. I like to turn on that light right here because it has a laser light that will show you where the needle's going to drop down. And then you can be sure you're covering up your raw thread.
Yeah.
Okay?
I like did you tell them about the laser too? I love the laser.
Yeah, I do too. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're gonna do the placement stitch for this second set of petals. And I don't have to change my thread. Let's see what this is. Now, also what you could do when you run out of bobbin thread, it gives you a little message to read, and you can touch your finishing stitch right here, the little bullseye. When you touch that, it will stitch in place 4 times and then cut the thread. So you can do it that way. What I did is I just cut the thread and then I backed up the stitches. But if you touch this one, it will stitch in place and then cut the thread.
Does that it will tie a knot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The button on the left side of the pocket, Joni, is that to remove the embroidery unit?
That one will move the embroidery unit arm over to the left. So if you want to take your embroidery unit off, you would touch that button.
Oh, okay.
And it will move it over to the left.
Now, is that like going to make you do that? Like, could I move it over to like trim on my machine?
Well, let's try that.
Let's try
when we do that. Next time we'll see.
Okay.
Okay, we'll try it. Okay?
Yeah, because that might be nice.
Yeah,
nice
that could be. Now that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's put this down.
Which they suggest don't trim, because you could scratch your machine or or knock it out of the hoop.
Okay, so I'm just gonna. I think what I'll do is I'll just lay these down one at a time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let that go ahead and do that one, and then I'll, the needle will move, and I'm going to stop it and place there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna let it jump over, and then we'll touch the green light, and it will stop. I'm just gonna cut that away so it won't get in the way, and then we'll take this one and put it there. Make sure I'm covering up all my stitching.
Cheryl, I don't know if it might, like the hoop might still cover, especially if you're using the large hoop. I think the hoop, if you're using the largest hoop, I think it will still cover that, the bobbin cover, the cover to the bobbin.
Yeah, it's yeah.
But if you're using a smaller hoop, maybe
it will
we got to
move
test
it.
that out. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're using a smaller hoop, it
Yeah.
will expose the bobbin cover, and you can take that
Yeah.
off. Then you don't have to take your hoop off. But the larger ones, it's still going to cover it up. Okay, so let me take this. Okay, so I'm going to take this out and take it to the table. Okay, now I have a little bubble here, but when I press it, it should lay down flat because it has the hot fix adhesive on it. So right there.
And you can even make sure, like, when you're pressing it, that it presses down to here.
Yeah.
Because we have that other applique piece.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So now we're going to
You want me to trim?
Sure.
I'll trim.
Okay. Let's see, we've got the iron on.
Duckbill's also make it nice because I don't have to worry about trimming that previous satin stitch I did. With the snips, sometimes my snips would get caught.
Mm-hmm.
Now this one you do want to make sure you're trimming close, especially since we have that yellow fabric that can kind of be a little see-through. It shouldn't be too big a deal on this one. When we do the yellow fabric, it might not even be a bad idea to throw shape flex or interfacing on the back of that one, just to make sure that it's not showing through too much. But you can see this, I don't know if you can see it, but there is a small bubble here, but no big deal.
Yeah.
When she presses that, it should be
we'll
good.
Press it. And they want us to press that button. So when we go back over there, we'll press it.
Yeah, it's killing me too. I want to know.
Mm-hmm.
We got time. Who's on this afternoon? Is Ruth Ann coming in still?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I believe so.
And she's going to do more quilting 101?
Mm-hmm.
So Kate is learning how to sew.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
It's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get her a machine to practice on.
Yeah,
Because everyone's got to learn how to sew.
that's right.
At least, like, know how to work the machine.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to see my daughter this weekend, and one of the reasons why I'm going to visit her is because she wants me to help her. I bought her a Jubilant last summer, and she's learning how to hem her clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to mention,
Gray loves embroidery.
does he?
Yeah,
He's fascinated by it.
I mean, he just like, he likes that, like, he says, Daddy, broider this. Daddy, broider this. And I bought a bunch of patches that were already, already done up. And we just like fused them. They had the fusible on the one side. So we'd fuse them to his backpack and a jean jacket.
Oh,
and
wow.
he thinks that I made them.
Oh,
so,
okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is holding that down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The hot fix adhesive is holding that little bubble down. Okay, and now we're going
Do we
to-
actually have a class on hemming this?
Here, we'll hit the button.
Yeah, John and Genevieve are gonna go over different types of hemming. I think this Friday at noon.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm going to hit that button, and we'll see. The carriage of the embroidery unit will move. So we'll say okay.
So you hit that button. Okay.
Yeah. And it moved, touch OK to move the carriage of the embroidery unit to the original position. So, so what it did is it moved it. Now, if you had a smaller hoop on, you could
It might move it out of the way. But it
Yeah.
didn't go all the way over, like you said.
No.
So press OK, see what it does.
Yeah,
And
okay.
it goes back.
It goes
press it
back to
again.
where, okay, so that one is like that.
And it just goes
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. Now, from what I always knew that was to move it so that you could take it off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I
And
thought it
maybe
moved
the
a little bit more.
Solaris does it all the way over, whereas
Right.
the Radiance,
It doesn't because
that's the position that
because
you
it's
want the
longer
embroidery
there.
unit to sit.
that
yeah.
could be it. Mhm.
Ah,
Okay.
so cool though.
Yeah. Okay. So now it's going to do this satin stitch.
And we're just using the same thread.
Mhm.
Like I said, you can, if you're using different fabrics, this is a place where you could change the color of your satin stitch.
It could go to a different shade of blue,
Different shade of blue, yeah. A white even
a white.
for this one. That will just stitch out.
Okay.
Do we want to show some things that we have in the lineup while this is stitching out? Because we do have some time. That way we can get to other parts of this project that we could talk about. What's up first? Okay, we have the duckbill scissors in the bubble, and that's what I'm using to trim all these appliques. These are the mini duckbills for right-handed people, and we love them.
Yeah, they're a Gypsy Quilter product. They make really nice
Gypsy
products.
Quilter and the Fumore ones we carry, they're both the same. Just one have a purple handle, one doesn't. Next up is just, let's start at the top. Well, let's start at the top. So Games Garden, this is a project we're working on. We're doing flower number 5. We're working in version 2 to do the table runner. You would use these to make the placemats as well. We've shown everything, the coasters that you can make. We'll get to that, and I'll walk you through the page there in the instructions. So you'll get everything you need to make 4 flowers in the largest size. And you'll get that fun notion in there. You get this cool box. You get all the fabrics that you need. You'll get a little candy. Oh, the scissor holster that
holster,
Joni's wearing.
yeah.
And you've been wearing that the whole
Till
time.
Yeah.
And
Great.
you could put you could put your candy in there if you want. So
Yeah, I think Gloria picks the candy.
yeah, Gloria
doesn't
picks a candy. And what's this one? Everyone say what candy you got? Did people get different candies?
Yeah.
Is this a mint?
Yeah, I would call that a mint.
It's a mint.
Yeah,
You get a mint.
It's blue.
You'll
It is
get
blue,
a
not
spool of
red.
thread. You'll get this fun flash drive. You'll get that special notion.
Yeah,
all the
you should have
fabric.
seen them up in the room. All these little
Yeah.
flowers.
And
in the bins.
I think we had a couple different colors for the
Yeah, we
flowers.
did.
Some may have gotten purple. Some may have gotten pink.
Pink.
Some may have gotten yellow. You'll get this instruction booklet, 32 pages of doing these projects. It will even tell you about the assembly in the back for doing the table runner. In pretty much the same way, we're going to be doing placemats too, if you wanted to make placemats. So everything is covered in here.
Yeah.
And
so-
the fabric lists of what fabrics you could choose, the additional materials you need, and a quick overview of the designs that we have here. So here is the version 1, where it just says 1 block. Here's the hexagon, where you join it in the middle, and here's the coaster down here. And yeah,
Easy
fun
to
stuff.
follow.
And now the next colorway is somewhere in here in our pile.
I liked this one a lot.
So Joni picked out these fabrics, just a different colorway to do. You could use whatever floral fabric you have, any collections that you really like, or you have something that you've already made and you want something to go along with it, these flowers are great. And I gave you 5 different flowers to maybe match whatever project that you have going on. You got an orange flower?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, an orange. There's orange too. Okay.
Orange USB.
So, you know, we have the fabric to make this one too. And for this kit that you see in the bubble, you need the design. So if you don't have the design from this box, you'll need to buy this box. We will be selling these eventually as just design only.
Okay.
And there will be a digital download code for you to download them as well. And you won't get the cool flash drive, but you'll get a flash drive with it and a digital download code. So if you lose the flash drive, you'll be able to re-download it. The next product is the Embroidery Elegance monthly, the prepaid monthly plan. And we can't do a subscription service, so it's not going to automatically charge you. But this is an upfront payment of a cheaper way to, you know, get some of these kits. We have the 3-month for $200, $199, and that will save you a few bucks. We have the 6-month and the full year. And now, like I said, we had to delay the one. So one of the months, you're actually going to get 2 projects. And I got to figure out what I'm doing. I think in the fall, I know of what we're going to do. So.
Why are they going to get 2
Because
projects?
I had to delay it a month. So they're going to get 12 projects in total. Just
Before
one of the
the
months.
end of the year.
Before the end of the year.
Okay.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Okay.
We'll see what other things other problems we run into. Let's get into the materials that we need to do this, the different notions we need to do this. So the next one is no-show stabilizer, and that's the one we found best that works. You'll get the 20 by 25 roll,
Yeah,
the stabilizer. We got a huge shipment of these, and we use no-show stabilizer all the time. So if you're not using it for this project, you're probably using it for another. Kimberbell uses that no-show stabilizer in their own brand, but this is a brand that we carry, and you get 25 yards. So that might last you long. Some of you might go through this in a week.
If you have the large hoop, you do need a nice big piece.
Yeah.
And you cut it lengthwise now. So, yeah.
The Panasonic iron is next. We have that in the gold, and it's still hot, but this is an excellent iron. It is cordless, so you don't have that cord that gets in the way. You got the point up here for getting
and it fits really nicely inside your hoop.
And it stays on for 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours it stays on. So the other one we had, it would turn off after 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And as you know, like sometimes you have your project going on, and it might be over 15 minutes, and then you gotta wait for your iron to heat up.
Yeah, it slows you down. When 2 hours is good.
So the next one is a different color we have, and what is that, like rose gold? Red.
Red.
You have it in red.
Yeah, Bernina. It looks nice with the Bernina, the red one.
Yeah, if you got a Bernina machine, you need to, everything needs to match.
Yes.
You know? You got to make your sewing room look aesthetically pleasing. Next product is our turning tool.
And I use this practically every day.
Yeah, and we'll let's see, is this still open?
Yeah.
This is still open.
Yeah.
We'll use this to just, you know, get the points here, the corners, and
it
poke
has
them
like
out.
a little ball on the end of it, so it won't poke through by accident. So it has a little tiny ball on it, and this one is also like a hexagon shape, so it won't roll off the table when you set it
That's
down.
nice, yes.
It will stay there.
Especially since in this room we're on like a hill.
the floors aren't even.
We're sloped. I want to fall backwards all the time in here. That's what it feels like. The next is our easy snips, or squeezy easy snips. We call them squeezy snips, I noticed a lot of the times.
And there you go, Fomore.
Fomore, these aren't the titanium, but the ones in the bubble are the titanium coated, which are much better.
It has like a little serrated edge.
Serrated edge.
It's much nicer than that one.
Much nicer. They stay
sharp.
They stay sharp for a longer periods of time. We got our cutting blades.
Okay, so
for, let's see, here's the 28 millimeter.
That's a small one, the 28.
There's another 28.
Okay, I guess we usually use the 45. But if
Usually use a 45.
some people like the small ones, like if you're cutting out a pattern.
So they'll look like that. Yeah.
But I guess we're selling the 45 now, so that it's nice to go for quilting because you're doing straight lines.
Yep. And titanium coated again. I guess that titanium coated helps it last longer.
Yeah, and they're gold, and our the girl who does all our cutting won't cut with anything but these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
she
does more cutting than anyone. With the amount of fabric we sell, she noticed the most difference with the 45 millimeter.
Natalia.
She's gone. She's missing right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully not really.
Yeah. No, I think she knows where. I think we know where she. I think she went home to Peru to see her mother. Her mother's in her 90s.
Yeah.
And I think she went there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, next step.
All right.
Well, and then we'll come
we're
back.
Going to change to the yellow, the gold, the bright yellow thread.
Do we have that somewhere?
Right here.
Oh, you do.
Yeah. So we're going to change to that, and it's going to do the placement line for the center. Okay, and we'll touch the green light. Okay, and then
I'm still recovering from Easter.
yeah, it was it was a fun holiday, but it was lots to do.
Kids are tiring.
Yeah,
And we still burnt the food, even though we got everything already pre-made. No, the food was good.
The food was really good.
Yeah,
Okay.
we didn't really burn it.
Yeah. Okay, then we're going to place the center, the yellow fabric for the center.
So if you're following along with us in the instructions, we are just about done with this part. Now, you would have to do this 2 times. So we are on page number 27 now. Maybe not 27. Yeah, 27. 27's right. We're on machine step number 11 right now with that third applique piece being tacked down. And then we'll go to our last step after we trim, and it will just be the satin stitch, and then we can take it out of our hoop, trim some things, and then we're gonna piece everything together and back it.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, we're gonna.
And I think I'm gonna be we're both gonna have to sew.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So you'll have to help me piece the other ones together so we can. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna put this one. Go. The scissors are very nice. Okay.
Yep.
Now we're gonna put it back in.
You know what I forgot to mention?
Oh, here, let's press it because I
What?
forgot just to hold it down. You know, I didn't take the iron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But when Joni was changing thread color, she actually changed her thread color at the beginning of your placement stitch?
Right. So
And so just, she didn't have to wait to stitch out everything. I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter. But if you did use like the blue thread, I'd be worried about it showing through.
right.
So that would be a good idea if you're doing a tack down stitch. Make sure it's the same as what your decorative stitch is going to be.
Okay. Right.
Judith, the audit is still ongoing. Probably will go on for as long as they can make it go on.
Oh, really?
Probably.
Aw.
I mean,
Yeah.
they gotta. The workers gotta.
Yeah.
You know.
Got to work. Okay.
They gotta work. They gotta do what they gotta do.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's, it's just to make sure that we're paying the PA sales tax and making sure we're charging people sales tax who are in store. Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm going, let's see, we need some clips. And probably, or pins. Let's see.
You want me to get some pins?
Yeah, pins or clips, whatever you see. Okay. So what we did was we trimmed a 1/4 of an inch away from the tack down line, but
You don't have to. Where you're going to be sewing is
on the,
right on this line here.
so it's actually a 1/2 inch from the edge.
Yeah, it's a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I kind of just, the way, I don't know what your preference is, but I just make sure my needle is hitting on top of that batting stitch.
Yeah, and I'm just going to kind of lay these together and make sure.
Yeah, you want to make sure that the satin stitches are lining up with each other. And those are the points that you really want to emphasize that are lining up. Because, if it's slightly shifted, it can kind of it doesn't look great.
Okay, I'm going to put a pin in, a clip in.
But you would probably
Look
be
at
the
this.
only one to notice,
Right, yeah. See, let's see, we're going to go like that. That looks good. And then I'm going to kind of check this side out. Okay. Okay, and then we'll put these edges. Okay, and then the same thing with this one. They all have a center.
So,
Yeah.
all done with that one. All you have to do is just remove it from the hoop. I'll let Joni. You want me to put the sewing on?
Sure. And
Okay,
then
and I'll grab you a chair,
I'll
too.
clip these together, and then when we'll trim this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, when you're sewing these, Joni, does it matter if you have can I keep my clear glide bobbin thread in there?
Yes.
Or do you like to use? Do you like this?
We're always in a hurry.
Yeah.
I keep it in. It's polyester thread, so it's very strong.
Yeah.
So I just leave it in.
Okay, a screwdriver. That's what I need.
Yeah. Okay. So we had.
Is there one in here?
Let's see.
Screwdriver.
That's something.
Here's one.
There you go.
That works.
Okay. Good. All right. So these are clipped together, and then now this one, we're going to use our rotary cutter and our ruler. Let's see. You know what? I could probably. I know I had one right here in the other room that I think it was. Let's see.
So I
Yeah.
think she's looking for a ruler.
Yeah. I found
She found
it.
one.
I
Okay.
found it. Okay. All
Okay,
right.
we seem to
So
should-
All right, so here's a small one. We're cutting a quarter of an inch away from this line that's tacked down the background. But we're gonna sew a half an inch.
So Cheryl was given a tip. She likes to baste her main points prior to stitching.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna go like that.
Maureen, we'll check on that order and we'll get it to you as soon as possible. I'm so sorry that you haven't got yours yet.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
And let's see, I can use my longer ruler for this side. So I'm placing that row of stitching on the 1/4 inch mark.
And I don't know why, like, you don't have to. I guess it's more to hold on to.
Mm-hmm.
For cutting out a 1/2 inch seam allowance.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were just doing that with the other ones, and we just got in the habit of doing
So
it.
you could cut right on the row of stitching. Is that what?
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
wanted to,
I would
yeah,
just do it a
and
little
then-
bit outside so everything's staying together.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah. So you could if you wanted to do a 1/4 of an inch, you could just go right on the right side of the row of stitching. Okay. But I guess I'll keep going with this one since that's what I started. But then that way you could use your 1/4 inch piecing foot. I just heard them say Natalia got back.
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
We need her. She's a cutting machine
Yeah.
and just a good attitude.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, and then we have the one that we just did over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're looking pretty good on time. So
Oh, good. Okay.
we've been going on for an hour so far.
Mm-hmm.
Not too bad.
Okay. This is one of my favorite rulers, this 3-inch one with the, but this was 12 inches, but they make one that's also 18 inches.
You know, do these like the grip on the back of these Quilter Select? Do they ever go away? Like I feel like we've had these for so long,
I don't
and the
think
grip
so.
on the back never goes away.
Right. Okay, let's do this. Okay, and then we'll do the final long one. Let's put this on. Okay.
There's just nothing they can really do, but like I can't be lifting stuff or doing anything.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we're ready to put these together. Now this one is a little bigger.
Yeah. And then I can. Wow, these are so pretty. A legitimate reason to not open boxes and Like even just moving that
Let's do this.
aggravating. Well, then he won't do anything. He won't do anything.
You can feel it.
Be like, my shoulder
They're right on top of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Put this edge together. Okay, so I'll go ahead and sew these together, and then are we going to back it?
Yeah.
Well, we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
all
so.
right.
I think that would be a good idea to show everyone.
Okay.
Maybe while you sew those, maybe I should sew them. Should I get my mom to sew them? I don't know. Maybe you cut out the back.
we need one here. I'll sew. Oh,
You sew it here and you show them how you do it. I'll go
Okay.
try
All
my
right.
best over here.
Okay, so I have a 1/2 inch seam allowance right now. So what I'm going to do is, let's see if we can put that laser light on. So I'm using the J foot, and so let's move. Let's see, that's the main one. We're going to leave that where it is. So let's turn on the sub, and we want a straight line, but we want to move that one. Now, right now it's on the 3/8 line. So let's just move it over a little bit. Okay. Let's see, I think I moved it too much. There, 1/2 inch. So it's at 12.70 millimeters, but they do pop up with it in inches, like 3/8, 1/2 inch, an inch will be there. So I have on my machine, I have this red line here. I'm just gonna, there. The red line is where the needle's gonna drop down, and then the purple line or the blue line is the 1/2 inch. So I have my needle in the center, okay, and I have a 2.5 stitch length, and I guess that is good. And then we're just gonna start to sew. Okay, so I have right there is my, there's also a mark on the stitch plate that shows that it's, there's a mark for every 1/8 of an inch. So there's my 5/8 line. So it would be the one to the left of that. But there's my, I see purple. I guess it's probably a bluish purple. So we're going to start here. So I'm just going to put the edge of my fabric on that line, and then we'll start to sew. Okay. And let's see, my foot control's down here, and when you know it's not plugged in. So I'll just kind of creep down here and get it. All right. So you could do this also with the 1/4 inch. All right, so I'm just going to set that right there. Okay. Okay. Okay, and we'll secure this stitch. So let's see, let's close that, and we are on stitch number 3, and okay, and so it's gonna, so we'll see how I do without the basting. But like Carol suggested, maybe you baste that section of with okay. So I'm coming to where it's connected right now.
Beat you.
You did? Okay. Oh, you did yours already. Okay. I bet it, I bet you didn't. I bet you didn't use the laser. The laser. Yeah.
Didn't have one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, should I press the seam open?
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna press that open. Okay, when I come to the end, I'm just gonna touch the reverse button and it will back stitch. And I'll cut the thread. I can also turn that on right here. Okay, so now let's see what we are. Okay, let's see like this. Okay, and cut the thread. Okay, and so let's see how I did. Pretty good. Okay, now I'll do the next one. Tommy's gonna press the seam over, and then I have one right here. Okay.
You said you had one done that I'm going to press? Oh, right behind you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then I'll just come to the end and touch the reverse button and it'll back stitch. And cut the thread and raise the presser foot. So let's see how we did on that one. Oh, that one's probably better. Okay, all right. So now we're gonna take the fabric, take our finished flower, and
Oh. See, we didn't use hot fix on this one. It still looks good.
that one didn't have hot fix.
No, these pieces don't have hot fix on them.
Oh, okay.
But it still looks good.
Mm-hmm.
But you can tell the difference,
Yeah,
you know?
it's kind of yeah, a little.
I'll let you iron.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So now.
But here, what's my grade on this one? I caught the camera. I almost did the Carol, and we were giving her a tough time.
Okay.
I caught mine though.
Mm-hmm.
Quick reflexes.
Okay. So now we're going to our backing fabric. Which one are we going to use?
Oh yeah, we need to press this one.
Okay. Okay.
And then
I'll press this
The
one.
backing fabric, and let's put that in the bubble kit. So we have two options. We're gonna see how this one looks, and this is sold by the yard. This is sold $113, and we're gonna back it with this fabric here,
Okay.
and it actually matches the two flowers that we have done. So very beautiful fabric. It's by Moda. It's called Sunshine and Blue Skies. We used two combinations of two different collections that went well together. We used Sunshine and Blue Skies, and the other one was called Coming Up Roses.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll go ahead. I guess we would just cut 2 yards. We sell this by the yard, and you'll need to buy 2 yards of this. And I'll let you cut.
Okay. I'll cut it.
I don't want to mess
Okay.
anything up. That's why it's so so nice to be here and have everyone helping me because I'm not as experienced.
Yeah, he's the digitizer.
I'm the digitizer.
And he's got
I
good
say, yeah,
creative thoughts.
I have creative thoughts. It's just I need help putting them in place. How many yards do you need? Would you suggest buying 2 yards of this?
Yeah,
2 yards
You might
for
wanna
2 yards of backing.
I always like a little more than less.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to take this and let's see this.
Let me clear out a space on this
Okay.
table.
All right, so we're going to use, this is, the finished size is like almost 16, okay? And let's see, the widest point here is, okay, 18. So we need at least, let's cut this.
I think I say it in the instructions.
Okay.
So when I did it in the instructions on page number 30, and I was recommending the cutting for, I said 49 by 22. And that gives you extra. So, you know, if you're doing it in a smaller hoop, I'd say add 4 inches to width and length whenever you piece these together.
Okay, so let's see.
So look how cool that looks. Doesn't that look cool? Even
yes,
on,
it does.
on the
yes,
screen
it
there.
does look really cool. Okay, so what I would do is just lay it down and then.
Well, so here we're doing it like this. So you
Okay.
want the split going down the middle, and we're going to piece these edges together because if you did it this way, it's
Okay.
actually a different
So
measurement.
we're doing the table runner first.
Yeah, let's do the table runner.
Okay.
And the table runner, that's if we do the table, or should we just do the placemat?
Well, I think the table runner is really nice. So let's do the
Yeah.
table runner.
We'll do the table runner.
Okay. So
And
we're
it's the
gonna
same
place them.
Yeah, I'll let you go.
Okay, so we're gonna have this fabric, the background fabric is different, so I'm gonna put this one in the middle. And then we're going to, let's see, like that. And like this one. Okay. Okay, like that. So you can lay them out the way you want them. And I just chose the like fabrics on the end and the different background in the center. So we're going to put right sides together right here. And so we'll put all our edges together and put some clips in. Okay.
No, I'm not done. I'm just taking a snack break while Johnny's.
Okay.
Oh.
So we'll do this one. And so I'll take this and sew that together.
Someone brought in candy.
Candy?
Yeah, so
Oh, well.
I had to take a candy break.
Mhm.
My mom's also complaining about how quiet we're being.
She is.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
She, it's
wow.
really
Yeah.
quiet. Little does she know
Interesting.
we've been going on for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I'm coming in just to say hello, everyone.
And
I'm
she's back from Italy.
Not
Here.
that you can hear me.
Here's your mic.
Oh, see, okay, so I told Gloria I would come in because I'm noisy. I talk a lot, and so yes, Joni is accurate. She does such a beautiful job, doesn't she? And Tommy and his designs, I'm not sure what they're doing exactly.
Okay. Yeah, we're doing it a table runner.
Oh, I think
with
I saw this before I left. Oh, it's so
Okay.
pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Aw.
Okay. So we're going to sew this one together.
Oh, someone's asking
With
the
the
name
half
of the
inch.
fabric. It is beautiful. Hi, Judith. Hi, Deb. It's good to be back. Oh, the fabric is called Sunshine Blue Skies Lake. So it is pretty with all those yellows and blues. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Peggy Ann. I'm looking forward to being back next week. At least I think I'm back next week. Depends on what else they scheduled while I was gone. They're so sneaky. All right. Well, I think I'm going to give Tommy back his microphone. Hi, Jean.
Okay.
All right. Oh, another Jean. I love that. That's great. It makes it easy for me.
Well, I mean, did you tell them about the Pope and like where you were and
I
stuff?
think
Yeah.
your mom told him. So.
Yeah, but they
Hi, Kippy. Hi, Cheryl.
Like, was it crazy? Like, what was the?
Oh, so
We're gonna
Tommy.
do this interview style where
Oh,
we're
yeah.
like passing out.
They don't know what we're doing. They can't see. They've got Joni.
Yeah.
So Tommy is asking about Italy, and Maureen wants to know: is 2 yards enough to do the table runner and 4 placemats?
Yes.
Yes, it is. I've heard from the boss man. So hi, Betty. But I think some of you may know already. The last time we were in Italy was 13 years ago when the Pope was elected, and then we went back and he passed away. So we're not sure what our connection is, but we're a little nervous about going back to Italy again. So hi, Linda. Oh my goodness, it's so good to see all of you. Joyce, hello. So Joyce, I was just looking at the fabric from the cruise trip, and I've got an idea, and I'm so glad you talked me into getting the shiny silver, the not ribbon. Well, the extra stuff. So I'll bring it in and show everyone. And so Maureen and Betty, so good to see everyone. All right, I really should quit interrupting. Joni's trying to actually show you stuff.
She's just joining together. What are you showing, Joni?
Okay, so I just joined together the 3 flowers. Okay, so just I did the 2 seams, and so now I have a table runner that needs to be backed.
We need to measure it out, right?
Yeah.
Make sure my measurements are correct.
So first I'm going to press those seams open. Okay, here, and then we'll measure the tablecloth. I mean the table runner, and I'm just going to press these open real quick. I've never been to Italy.
Me neither.
Yeah, we'll have to go.
I don't really have the desire to go. You know, I don't know.
I kind of like.
I do like history.
Yeah.
And I think going there and all the the rich history about our world, is in that area, and sightseeing and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I don't know if like spending 2 weeks there. I guess there's so much to see. I guess it's not even enough time
and it's
to
a long
see everything.
trip. You might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I know there's a lot of things here that I would like to see too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then I'm just going to kind of get it from this side. Okay. Okay, and we'll do this one. Give it some steam. Okay, so now the size of this is, okay, we'll move these out of the way. The width is, it's 18, okay? And then the length is 45.
So
Boy, I can't believe
22 by 49, we'll cut it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just add
where
a
is
few
the
inches.
fabric?
Okay, so we had it. I put it down here.
Okay.
So 22. So the fold of the fabric, if we cut on the fold of the fabric, that's like 21 inch.
22, 21.
Yeah,
that should be good
that's
enough.
good,
Cut on
yeah.
the fold.
So we're going to measure out 49 inches. Okay, so let's see. We'll put this right here. And so I have,
Maybe order 3 yards if you're planning on doing
okay, so
4 placemats too.
So let's see. We wanted 40. We
49.
want 49. So let's do this. Okay, I can keep going. I'm not running out of room. Okay, so we're going to put this, and right here is 49 inches. So we'll cut that. And all right, then we're going to move this. And then I'll cut on the fold. Okay, so let's see, we'll go like this. Okay, and then we'll take a ruler and just cut off the fold. Like that. There we go. Make sure I. All right, and then I'll move that down. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now I've got 2 pieces.
Yep.
Okay.
And you could put the one piece aside for doing your placemats.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
But what do you think? Do you think 2 yards would be enough for 4 placemats?
Let's see. Let's see. Well, this.
Because you want to give yourself some extra room, right?
Mm-hmm. So this was 49 inches, maybe a little bit more, because this is 49 inches and it fit 3.
Mm-hmm.
So, well.
So 2 yards
2
would be
yards.
72 inches long.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. So it would. Yeah. Definitely.
2 yards would definitely.
Do 4 placemats and.
Yeah, you don't need 3.
No. Mm-mm.
That would be
Okay.
too much.
Okay, so we're going to put right sides together. So we'll put our lining backing down. And this one, I'll probably need pins.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me go hunt for pins. I'm hunting
Okay.
for pins.
All right, and now we need our table runner. Here it is. Okay. All right, so we're going to put right sides together. Like that. And we've got plenty of fabric. And we're going to pin it in place. So on this, the important thing is to get your corners to kind of pivot right on your
There's the one pin dish
corner.
we always lose.
Okay, just this one kind of, I'm just gonna get that. So I'm gonna put some pins right where the points are. And we want to pivot right on that, where the point, where it comes to a point. And right here. And then before we turn it, we'll need to we'll have to trim a lot. Trim every point. Okay, so right here. Okay.
Is there enough fabric in the kit to make 5 flower table runners?
There should be.
So
Now,
this,
definitely with the 10.5 by 16 hoop, you're definitely going to get the 5.
I'm gonna just kind of move this.
I knew there was a mistake on the cutting instructions somewhere. So be careful pre-cutting the fabric. I think if you do use your own measurements. And I tried my best to do the cutting diagram given the time and just how quick I needed. I give you a lot of designs on here and how I had to get all of these ready and squared away before sending them out. I did have to rush on the cutting instructions just because I didn't want you guys waiting, extra long for this, longer than you already had waited for this. I suggest that you measure out each placement stitch and then cut your fabric or lay your fabric and, so that you're utilizing the most fabric that you can. The price point, we calculated the amount of fabric that we gave you, and that's the best we could have done at that price point. You know, we have to make money off of this product to be able to do it again, or it's not really worth our time to do with the amount of labor that we put into this. So the price is calculated based on how much fabric you get, how, you know, what those prizes that you get, the flash drive, the instructions. So I'm really hoping I didn't make a mistake on the cutting instructions. Someone said that there may have been a mistake with flower 3, I think.
Oh, really?
So, like, with nothing with the design itself, but with the cutting instructions that I gave you on that flash drive. So, I felt like, you know, we gave you enough fabric to do, just enough fabric to do the 5. Yeah, Laura, this is Gam's Garden.
Yeah.
So I really do apologize if if you pre-cut them. It was on the applique pieces. Yes, I believe so. For the cutting instructions. So we'll go over to flower number 3 after we sew this,
Okay.
and I'll show you what the problem was there.
Okay, so now we're going to leave an opening so that we can turn it. So I don't want to do the ends because then I'd have to pull it like the whole way through. So I think what I'm going to leave is open is right here, right in the middle. So then I can pull it through this, you know, this side through and then pull that side through. So I'm just going to kind of mark that with a pin for myself. And here,
So
I'll put
we'd be looking at page number 30. At the very bottom, that's where Joni's at, and it's pinning this. So place right sides of the hexagon and the backing fabric together, pin together carefully, ensuring the backing fabric is flat with no wrinkles.
Yeah, we can take a look at that.
Yeah.
And I put the pins in like opposite so that I would know to start and stop. Okay. All right, so let's just take a look and see if we like the way it looks on the back. And it looks pretty smooth right here. All right, here, let's see what this is doing. Maybe right here we can fix that up a little bit. I think there was a little crease in the fabric, so we'll just go like that. Okay, and then, okay, so now I'm ready to go to the sewing machine, and I'm going to start right where my opening should be. That was right here. So I'll start here, and we're going to work ourselves around. And the important thing is to pivot when you get to the points, okay? And so we're going to
And make sure this side's right side up whenever when you're sitting there.
Oh, yes, yes. So I'm going to use the table runner as my guideline, the edges, yeah. So, okay, so I got lots of clips here now. So I'm going to start here again, and there we go. So I'm going to come right to a point right away. So here, I'll start here, and I'll lower the foot. And I want to make sure that I have my hover position on, which I do right over here. I have this selected, so when I stop, the needle will stop down and the presser foot will go to the hover position. So it will raise so I can turn without having to lift my presser foot. Okay, and so we're going to start here, and okay, so it's just going to do like a little back stitch, and then I'm going to come up to where the seam is. I'm going to take out the pin as you go slow. There we go, and then you can see the presser foot raises, and then I'll pivot. Okay, and then we'll lower the foot. And I have my red line, and I can see, I'll just leave that sitting right on top of that stitching line. And then we'll go this way. Okay, so I'm coming to another point, and we're just going to sew up to where the seam is. I like the, you can sew as slow as you want or as fast as you want. Okay, so
How's it
I'm
going?
coming to a point again. I'll take one more stitch, and then we'll pivot. Okay. Okay, and then this is another point.
Are you sewing right on the seam or just to the inside of the seam?
I'm kind of sewing right on it. Yeah. You could go just to the, now that won't show, that seam won't show on the other side. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it showing. There we go. Okay. And then we'll turn.
Bridesmaids would be fun. If, like, to get them in and have their jean jackets and the bride can just embroider and they can decorate it with rhinestones and pearls. That would go. And you could have a private wedding party. Yeah.
Okay, sewing right up to that seam, and then we'll pivot.
Just no strippers.
No. Just don't advertise.
You could put that in the fine print. Almost. Are we going too slow?
Yeah, I hear. I thought maybe you were.
She's just. Well, she's focusing. It's hard to focus.
Okay, one more stitch. That's what I like. You can just tap on the foot control, and the needle will move up and down.
I tried doing this part without pinning it. And
Oh,
that was
yeah.
a big mistake.
Yeah, you have to pin it.
You gotta pin it.
Because you turn it.
If you're a
and,
beginner like me,
Mhm.
you gotta pin it. So basically the same way you're gonna do the placemats, right?
Right.
Like you're just cutting a little extra, you're leaving a side open for you to turn it right side out.
Yeah,
Um,
I always do it this way. I never like cut it exactly to fit because it seems easier to cut off your excess rather than trying. Sometimes you don't get all your edges together and you end up getting a little hole in the
Yeah.
whatever you're working on. So I always just when I sew the backing to the front, I make the backing larger and use the top as my guideline.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you hear us out there talking? So I kind of want to tell them what I'm talking about.
Okay,
What we were talking about and what we're
Okay.
excited about. We got to get people coming back in here doing classes. So we're planning on doing classes again. Even new owners classes. If you buy a machine from us, you're going to get a free class. We're going to do other classes of like in the hoop projects on different machines. Small groups though. We can only really we only have the space to really do a group of like 6 people.
That's what I was going to say, 6 people.
So if you and 5 other friends want to book a class time and where we do a project, but we're still figuring things out of booking those and making sure we're not butting into our live stream schedule. We're still going to do the free live classes, but we want more people coming in, especially this summer. with the weather and being nice again. So we're just excited, and we were talking out there about our possible classes. We do want to try to hit the millennial audience as well, of the moms here in Mount Lebanon where we're located, and we're talking about fun projects. We're even talking about possibly having bridal parties. Like all the bridesmaids
Oh, that'd
come
be fun.
in and they get a jean jacket, and the bride will embroider
Okay.
bride on the back,
Oh, that
and the
sounds like
bridesmaids will
fun.
have bridesmaids, and they could place those hot fix pearls where they can just iron on pearls or rhinestones however they want. And I think that would be a lot. And they could have some drinks. They could have some
Okay.
drinks while they do it.
Okay. I know they did something like that. I don't know if they still do it, like at Macy's with the bridal registry. And
Oh,
they
yeah?
would invite the bride, the bride and groom in, and they would pick out what they wanted, but they would give them mocktails.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mocktails.
Yeah.
They were not real drinks.
Right. Yeah. For that they gave mocktails.
Yeah, that's also a thing we got to worry about too. Is people who aren't experienced sewers too, drinking and working with these machines and not realizing how powerful they
we had
are.
one customer, whenever she sat down to do free motion, she would pour a glass of wine. She said it would relax her, and she'd do a better job.
Well, we can't charge people for drinks here.
No, yeah.
Right, but we can give them out for free in the state of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And we've done that. My mom's done that. You guys have done that in the past, where the husband comes in and we have beer that we offer them in a beer glass.
Right.
So we've got to get back on that, especially with the nice weather coming up. We just want to get our sense of community back in the store.
Okay, so I'm almost there.
Yeah, Judith, liability issues. Yeah. Maybe we could have a waiver. Bring your own, it's safer. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to come up to the seam here to pull the pin out, and a couple more stitches. Okay, and then I'm going to pivot, and then I'm going to come up. I'm going to stop where my pin is. Okay, I'll take a couple more stitches. Okay, and then I'm going to back stitch. Okay, and then we'll cut the thread, and I'm done with that part. Okay, now we have to go and trim. Remember, you and I did this part together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was...
and maybe while you're trimming, I could show them the other embroidery designs on here.
Okay.
And the concerns about flower number 3 on the cutting guide.
All right.
But you go ahead and show them the important parts of the cutting here.
Let's see, we get all our pins out. And so my opening was... Let's see. There it is, right here. Okay. So I'm just going to put a pin there so I won't forget about the opening. Okay. Now, you need to get rid of the bulk right here. So let's say when I cut this, well, let's do this with a rotary cutter first. And then we'll do I'll start right here. Okay. And I'm just going to maybe line up my edge of my fabric like that and cut. Okay. Okay, like that. Okay. All right. Now Oops, that was my opening. That's okay because I have a 1/2 inch seam. I was going to leave a little bit longer there, so don't do that, but it'll be all right. And all right, so now here, I'm going to snip this. All right, so now I'll go ahead and start on the corners so that Tommy can show you what, right here on these points that are pointing outwards, I'm just going to take my scissors and cut right across it. You don't want to cut too close to it, but I'm just going to cut right across like that. And I left, I want to say, not 1/8 of an inch, maybe 1/16 of an inch. And then what I'll also do is grade the sides. So I'm just going to kind of cut into that, go like that, and right here, like that, okay? And then right here, the same thing.
I do I don't mention the grading the the
Okay.
sides of it, but I
Yeah.
do mention where you trim on those in the instructions.
Yeah. Yeah, it says trim all corners and joints to remove bulk. Okay. So I'm just going to go over here, and I have yellow thread in there, so that's a good idea to sew together with your thread. And then I'm just going to do a little bit more grading. Okay. And the same thing. Okay, now when you get right here, this is kind of you really need to trim this. So I'm going to cut right into the seam, and just be careful you don't cut into your stitching like that, because when you turn this, it's going to pull like that. So there again, so you're going to clip into those corners and then just take off some of the bulk. Okay, like that. Okay, and you'll go around and do all of your, after you trim, you'll do all of your corners, and then you're ready to turn.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll keep going with that.
Yeah, you keep going. I'll show them on
Okay.
the other things on the flash drive.
Okay.
We'll start out with the bonus. So I'm just in the GAMS garden. So when you click into your format, you'll see the 4 different folders. The bonus folder, here's the bonus design, and you'll get just the applique for the 6x6 hoop, or you'll get the flip and sew borders. So you flip and sew the borders on just like the other blocks that I've included on the other projects. You have your 7.5 inch total size, and then the 8.5 by 8.5 inch. So you'll get that. You'll get version 1 hooping. This is all in one. Here's the applique block. I call it applique block. We'll take a look at flower 1, and you can see I give you a couple different sizes: 10.5 by 10.5, the 8.5 by 8.5, and the 7.5 by 7.5. So you get all 5 flowers for that version. You get the applique only too. So if you didn't want to do like a block, you just wanted that applique. Now on flower 3, it actually uses some fill stitches there. So you'll have fill stitches in place of 1 petals, and it's just 2 applique pieces in total, but you get multiple different sizes for that. Same thing with all these flowers. You get various sizes for just the applique. Let's move over to the fill version and the coasters. So in the version number 3, you'll find the fill stitches and the coasters, and they could be separated, they could be together. Here's a coaster that's together, and you get your different coasters. You also just get the fill stitches. So if you want to use the fill stitches for something else or to embellish your table runner, I left some blank areas open where you could add little flowers to it as well. If you wanted to do that before you backed it, you could do that and decorate your table runner even more, or your placemats. But you can have a coaster to go along with all your placemats in your table runner, and you can see it here. And the coasters are all different. There's a motif stitch that goes around, and there's all sorts of different motif stitches. and you could click on your machines to view them. I really like the motif stitch on flower number 5. So we'll see if I could zoom into that so you can see it up close. But this is all done in the hoop. I really like that one. So I didn't really stitch this one out fully and finish it. So whoever wants to stitch that out, post it to our Facebook group. That would be great. But I'll go over. So the first step would be the applique positioning, and I do have instructions on this on page 28 or 29. So it's just your main placement of the total size. You got your batting tack down. You have your background fabric tack down, and then it will do the motif stitch. So after the motif stitch, you'll do an applique positioning stitch, and then your applique tack down, and then a decorative candle wicking to go around that raw edge of that applique, and then you will continue on to do your flower. And here's the petals, here's the center, and then your final steps is when you're going to do the envelope backing. So you'll take your put the fabric, and let's say it's like a 6-inch by 6-inch piece. You'll fold it so the wrong sides are together, and you do 2 of those pieces. You'll overlap them by 1 inch and tape them down in the hoop, and then it will tack down all the way around, and you'll flip, you'll trim around, flip it right side out, and you'll have your coaster very quickly. And you can see it's only 13,000 stitches for this one. Stabilizer. No show's good. No show's good to use on these. I guess it doesn't really matter. You could use medium tearaway too, and just rip out, before you flip it, you can rip out the stabilizer. But yeah, the no show worked well with these. A thin layer of batting is good, and yeah, I'm really proud of this project. I hope you all like it too. Joni's almost finished up on trimming these, and we'll flip it right side out, and we can see how nice it looks with that pretty backing fabric.
Yeah, this is a nice backing. I love the backing. So you can actually turn it over. It looks nice on both sides.
Yeah. And we do have another option. So while she's doing that, we have another backing fabric option, which we don't have much of, Kate. So if it says more than like 20 yards, it's wrong. Oh, that's probably right. So we only got about 13 yards left of this backing fabric of these packed flowers. Now we might be able to order more of this. So if you go on waitlist and enough people go on waitlist and waitlist authorize, we can go ahead and order more of this so you can get this for your project. But there's various fabrics that work well with this collection, and it looks it could be summer, it could be spring. So the next thing we have is our free entry to the bags, bobbins, and a bit of magic giveaway. And if you didn't already enter, don't worry about it. Or if you did enter, don't worry about this. But for those of you who did not enter, you're going to want to put this in your cart when you check out today. Or you could put this, that if you're not buying anything, you could just put this in your cart. When you go to check out, put on coupon code MAGIC. So you have to add the code MAGIC. Right now it's at a price for $1 and only 1 entry per person. So if you have multiple entries, you're just going to get, and you paid for it, you're going to get refunded. But you're going to put coupon code MAGIC. We're going to have a post on Facebook, Instagram, other places on how to do so from the app. You could do it on our website too, where you add the coupon code MAGIC, MAGIC. You have to be 18 years older to enter. You have to be a U.S. resident, and only 1 entry per person. And we're doing the drawing May 29th on our Favorite Things show. So you'll tune into our show, and we'll do a live drawing, and we're going to print everyone's names out, I think. Or we'll use that wheel online. But I think printing everyone's names out would be more fun. And that way it doesn't seem like rigged either. So, yeah, it's just fun. In this giveaway, we're giving away $600 worth of products. We're giving away a sewing machine. we're giving away Vera Bradley bags, 3 Vera Bradley bags. And Roseanne, you get a peek of maybe I'll show you. But you'll get some fairy frost fabric. You'll get some bobbins. And is there anything else I'm missing? I don't think so.
Okay.
Nope.
Now that I made a mess.
Yeah.
Okay. Lots of snippies. Okay, so I'm going to start to turn this now. And my opening is right here. So I'm just going to go down in here and we'll grab the table runner, and we're going to start pulling it through. And it's a little, stiff, so you just got to work at it. That wasn't too bad, right?
No.
No.
When we did the first one, I made the opening way too small. Mm-hmm. And it was hard to turn right side out.
Okay, so we're going to pull this through.
We should have put steam-a-seam.
Yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
I have that through. Okay, now this is the larger of the two. I'm just going to grab the corner, pull it through. I feel like I'm wrestling with it today. Yeah. It's a little bit like, a purse, when you're turning that, it's a little stiff. And it'll come all of a sudden.
I was thinking is that we should have used the wave stitch on one of our machines. And maybe we'll demonstrate doing the wave stitch on one of our sergers.
It would be an easy way to
Just
finish
super
off the
easy.
edge. Yeah,
we should have done that.
Well, we'll have to remember that for the next time.
I know, and I was thinking, I kept saying, no, we're going to do that. But it's a lot to get ready.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. We're going to pull this. Here it goes. All right, so I have that.
Ta-da.
There. Yeah, just about. Let's see, right here. Okay, now I'm going to take my point turner right here, and I'll put my hand right in there, and we're going to, so this one turned out real nice. Do you see how that's going to go together? And then I'm just going to go through here and take the point turner and poke out the corners. There we go. There's quite a few.
Brenda said this is like wrestling a bear.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that one. And when I get them all done, we'll press it really good.
I mean, even though we put in all this work to back this, or you did at least, we could take this one and just, go around with a wave stitch, right?
Yeah.
Or it'd be better to rip it out.
Yeah, because it would get smaller then, But, we can make another one.
It would get smaller, and
yeah. So I'm just kind of working my way
then you got to be
around.
worried it might not look like a hexagon. It would probably look more like circles.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's go in here.
Could you envelope back this? Louise wants to know.
I guess you could. Yeah, we didn't think of that. You use 2 pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes, it's best to share things and because people give you ideas.
Yeah.
So that was a good idea.
Oh, yeah, I like seeing different ways that it's done, too. Mm-hmm. Because someone might show one way that works better for them, and they enjoy it, they find it easier to do it a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And just like having that option of like, oh, I didn't know there's all these different ways that I could back this. Or
I think we're ready. So now we need to press really good. So I have right here.
Your iron's still hot.
Okay, good. And you can see it's kind of fallen into place. Like
I'll go get a broom.
I don't have to worry too much about, making sure it's on the edge. It's just kind of falling into place. And I guess that's because the fusible fleece ended right here. Okay. So I'm going to take my iron and press it really good. Let's see if we need any more water. I think we're okay. All right. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of go around and press it. And it looks great. There, we'll give it some steam. Tommy's cleaning up.
Can't have my mom yelling at me.
No, here, I'm going to maybe take this one and poke it out a little bit more. Let's see, where's my opening? Right here. There, that's better when it comes to more of a point. Okay. It is a really good project. It's different, the shape of it. That's what I'm going for. I'm going for different. Yeah, we do lots of table runners, but we've never done like this shape before. So it's a first. It's good. Yeah.
I like being the first.
Mm-hmm.
Do you worry at all about the no-show mesh shrinking whenever you steam or iron it?
I think like what you don't have to worry about it until you wash it, right?
It should wash all right. Probably what I would do is probably take it to the dry cleaners.
Yeah.
After all that work.
Yeah.
But it should wash good. Yeah.
I love it.
Okay, so now right here I'm at my opening, and okay, so let's just put what I'll do is I'll go like this. And there we go. There. So I like the point on the iron for something like this because you just touch it, you can't really get put the whole iron on top of it. So that point is really helpful. So I'm just doing the table runner, the right side.
Oh, I kind of like this backing.
Yeah, that's a beautiful backing. That's
this one's good. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I like how this one kind of like matches the petals, and it's.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So then we'll just press this, and we'll put some steam in to hold it close. Or you could hand stitch. We don't do we don't do anything hand stitching here. Yeah, if it mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over so I
think we don't need to show that,
they can get the idea. But you see this part.
Put them side by side now.
Okay.
Just
see how we did.
How we did. Which one looks better with what flower.
Mm-hmm.
So they look good. Whoa.
Oh, that's a good.
Yeah.
That's another idea. Fit. Yeah.
Oh, so who's gonna make a quilt?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that would be pretty.
Who's gonna make a
quilt?
Mini quilt or a big quilt?
Mm-hmm.
How cool would that be? You'd have to really worry about your placement though. But look how they'll fit together, so you can't do it.
Yeah. That would be cool because you could dig.
Only half the flower.
Half of the flower, like every other, like this would be a full one, but this would be the half.
The only thing that you're gonna have to do is like a blank. You're gonna have to measure this and
fill it in.
Fill it in.
Mm-hmm.
But Pretty cool.
Yeah, really cool. It's a beautiful
All right.
project.
Is there anything other products that we didn't get to show? Hot fix. Put that in the bubble.
Yeah,
Hot
that's
fix.
hot fix is a must. We use it
Yeah.
on any applique project.
We love
So
hot.
and we really like appliques,
Mhm.
don't we? Yeah,
Yes.
that's probably what everything you do. You
Yeah.
very rarely do it like a fill
Ruth
pattern.
Ann's gonna tell you our next show at 3:00. Ruth Ann's gonna be back
Mhm.
on, and she'll probably talk about hot fix. I don't know if she's gonna be using it or not, but she loves it. Our next product is Wonder Clips, and Joni was using the Wonder Clips to join together the two halves.
Yeah, you need both pins and Wonder Clips.
Yeah. And you may have broken a bunch of your Wonder Clips by dropping them on the floor and stepping on
It's
them.
on them.
That's how I do it.
Yeah.
Our
Mhm.
next product is the 3x12 ruler.
Yeah, that's a nice one. It's 'cause it's handy
Yeah.
and it doesn't.
It's not bulky and in the way.
Yeah,
can move it around.
you can move it around. It doesn't get caught on something, down at the other end.
Yeah. But this
Mhm.
is amazing. I love this. And then you could flip these over.
Mhm.
And it still
Yeah.
looks cool.
Mhm. Yeah, it looks really great.
It's a cool, yeah.
hmm
So
Which
that's it.
which month is your favorite so far?
This one.
This one?
I think I like this one so far.
Okay. hmm
Just because I don't know. I thought it was very unique.
Yes.
Way of
Uh-huh.
doing it.
hmm
I don't know. The pillow for St. Patrick's Day was fun though.
Yeah, that's a good
Um,
one too. They're all
Just
really
a lot of
good.
work. It's a lot of
Mhm.
work.
Yeah. So
Uh-oh, my mic's messed up.
yeah. So if you're
um,
with us for the first time and you've never seen your projects, you can go back and search for them, right?
Yeah, you can go back and
Mhm.
we were planning on doing it every third Tuesday of the month, but some things happened and we gotta shift our focus on other places, and we had to delay this a month. So we'll get back to doing it, and we'll notify you when we're going to be doing the next show and when the next boxes are going to be going out.
hmm
We'll also let you know probably Thursday what it's going to look like. I think the fabric for the next project is in today. So I can finally make the final sample and I can show everyone.
hmm
So thank you all for joining us. I hope you enjoy my projects. And I'm sorry for those of you, who are expecting it earlier. Like I said, we problems arise and we just have to kind of roll with the punches.
Yeah.
And thank you all for understanding about, how long it takes to do this.
Yeah, I heard you're talking about that you're not getting things like the way you used to. I heard someone say on TV, they said, and we all know what's going on out there. That's
Yeah.
the way they put it.
Yeah, and we've seen other companies, like I've been getting emails from other companies saying like, we're going to be raising our prices, be careful. There's other places that are using it as like a sales technique, like buy now before the
Yeah.
prices go up.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
yeah, we'll figure out a way. There's always a way.
Okay.
So that's how business works, right? You just
Yeah.
gotta roll with it and
Yeah.
keep battling through, and then have some adversity, or be resilient in the eyes of adversity, and we'll get through. And I hope you all enjoyed this. But that's
Okay.
it for us. Ruth
Okay.
Ann's going to be coming on. We should probably
Onyx.
get out of her way.
Yeah, I guess so.
So-
We're giving about 35 minutes.
Thanks, everyone. I
Bye-bye.
hope you enjoyed.
Bye-bye.